November is Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, and every year we try to raise money here at K105 to fight this terrible disease. And the third annual Play Games for Pancan is going on November the 2nd at Fort Wayne's Game Show Experience. It's a day full of nothing but game after game after game. And this year we have Luke Combs tickets as the grand prize. And here with me now is Kristin Zolman. And Kristin, you were part of Play Games for Pancan last year. And you and your husband won the whole thing, did you not?
We did. We took home the big trophy, and it was a lot of fun.
And the main thing is we raised a lot of money for pancreatic cancer, which is it really hits home with you and your husband, because your husband's sister and your sister-in-law, Katie, had pancreatic cancer last year, and it looked like she was getting better because she had caught it early enough, but that ultimately was not the case, and she ended up succumbing to pancreatic cancer. Can you just kind of take us through this? 'Cause I know we've chatted a little bit about it, and we chatted at the event, and Katie was actually part of the group that you guys brought in, and you all brought in, your purple shirts and kind of played the games in honor of Katie. But if you could just kind of reiterate a little bit of the story, synopsize it, and then tell me what ended up happening.
So Katie, pancreatic cancer actually ran on Katie's dad's side of the family. Her grandfather ended up passing away from pancreatic cancer, and I believe her great-grandma passed away from pancreatic cancer, so it's definitely a prominent gene in the family. And when Katie found out that she had pancreatic cancer, she actually had the flu, and the people that she lived with had the flu, and Katie just didn't get better. So she ended up going to the doctor, and the doctor luckily was like, hey, let's just run this extra panel of tests just to see, if there's anything else going on. And when they came back with the test results, they told Katie that she had pancreatic cancer. They were able to get her in front of a physician at Northwestern in Chicago, and Katie was able to have the Whipple procedure done. And they removed, part of the pancreas, and I think they removed a portion of the liver and some of her, I think some of her bowel, too, because they just wanted to make sure that they grabbed everything that was around it. And, she went through chemo, she did radiation, and, that was a rough road, but she kept a positive outlook, and she got a clean bill of health. She had a dance party with her son and her roommates and everything, and that was like the big thing. Like, she was just waiting for that dance party that they had at the house so that they could celebrate her being cancer-free.
Yeah.
Well, then 2.5 weeks later, she started to not feel good again. She got super bloated. Her belly, she felt like she was retaining fluid in her stomach. The first time she went in, they ended up removing, I think, like 4 pints of fluid from her stomach. And then they just had to keep doing that while they ran some more tests, and the pancreatic cancer was back, and it had spread that quickly. And, she had a clean bill of health for, 2.5 weeks. And it was like as soon as she stopped, it reared up again, and ultimately Katie wasn't here about a month later.
It's... we talked a few minutes ago just about pancreatic cancer just being one of those diseases, and we all know what ultimately happens, because usually when you get it, because the pancreas is buried so deep in your body, you don't really know until symptoms start to show up, and then it's usually too late, and that's ultimately what happened with Katie. And it's an awful thing. And I lost my mother-in-law in 2000 to it, and just every year I try to do something to raise money for this disease, because it's still one of the most underfunded cancers for whatever reason. I still think that I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't seem like it resonates with a lot of people for whatever reason. But that's why I try to do something memorable and try to raise some money and just get the awareness top of mind, because it could strike anybody at any given time. You mentioned the family history a little bit. I mean, there's been some things tied to that. We don't officially know exactly what the cause is, but just that it's usually too late when we find out.
Right. I know the one thing that was positive that came out of it was Katie, while everything was going on, she was able to have some gene testing done. So she was able to do that and was able to share that information with people in the family so that, because it runs in the family, whether that's the main reason or where it all stems from, we still don't know. But at least we're able to check, my husband, my niece, my nephew, so that they have that ability to see if they have that gene in their body so that they can continue to do normal checkups and things like that. So that was a positive that came out of it.
Thank God for that. Well, each and every year, like I said, just I try to let people be aware of what pancreatic cancer is and that it is out there, and that if you can help in any way by spreading the word about this awful disease or helping to raise money. And that's what we try to do with Play Games for Pancan. And we've got Luke Combs tickets to give away for Notre Dame. This is going on November the 2nd at the Fort Wayne Game Show Experience. And you guys played last year. You know what a fun time that was. The hour just goes by so fast, right?
Yeah, we were all having so much fun. We just wanted to keep going. We were able to have all those people participating and raise that money. And it was just a really good way for everybody to come together. And it's just a really great way to make memories and honor someone who is no longer here.
All right, so get your families together, your neighborhoods together, your coworkers together, whatever the case may be. Come have some fun with us on Sunday, November the 2nd. There are 4 slots, 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 5 o'clock. And get yourself signed up, and you just might win Luke Combs tickets. So, Kristin, thanks so much for spending some time with me here. And we're always thinking about Katie. She had such a smile on her face. I remember last year when she was there, and then just to hear that devastating news just weeks later, and just thinking about you and your family. And thank you so much for taking a few minutes for this.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Podcasts by Federated Media.